All right, you know what time it is. It's time for Never Miss Monday with the Fit Crew. What do we got in store for you today? Let's go ahead and share this on screen. So today for Never Miss Monday, we've got a 4-round workout for you. 4 rounds of 12 GHD sit-ups, 8 power snatches, and 4 overhead squats. And of course, we're going to warm up really well, and we're going to go through some options that will allow you to do this workout right where you are, using what you have and doing what you can. But let's go ahead and start this general warm up. Here we go, guys. Let's get some arm circles going back, arm circles back. And as you guys know, my name is Coach Chris. I am a level 3 CrossFit trainer, which means I've logged thousands of hours over many years, helping many people just like you get super fit and happy through health and fitness. Let's go ahead and switch to arm circles forward. And one of the aspects of the program that's really helped you to reach new heights is the Pro Track. And there's a couple of things that we get in the Pro Track that really propel us toward our health and fitness goals. So what do you like about the Pro Track? That's what I want to hear from you guys as we continue to warm up. Let's move on to arms across the chest. Hug yourself, love yourself. And while we're doing this, let's hear from the twins. Go ahead, guys, say your name, where you're from, and what do you guys like about the Pro Track?
My name is Iris. I'm Denise. We're from Texas. I like the extra workouts that we have, and they're very specific workouts that help us strengthen certain movements, and the progression of how to get to that movement so you don't hurt yourself. I really like that.
Yeah, and I also like that in the Pro Track, it includes Tuesdays and Thursdays, so you get some extra exercise in. We're able to get even stronger. So, yeah.
Awesome, and you pros have definitely been making good use of the Pro Track, and the results are clear to see. Let's now move on to the wrist wave. And while we're doing the wrist wave here, let's hear from the Incredibles. Go ahead, guys, say your name, where you're from, and what do you guys like about the Pro Track?
Hi, my name is Evie and JC. We're from Brooklyn, New York. One thing that I like is getting the workouts in advance. So it preps the whole week. I get a consistency of what what I'm gonna have to work on. So I get like set. So I'm ready for when that day comes. So that's what I like the most about it.
Yeah, and it's also good to know any goats or any difficult workouts that or routines that I need to improve in. So if I know it's coming, I'm get my mind and my body ready for those goals and then try to knock them out.
Oh man, getting the mind prepared, especially to face those goats head on. But you know what? That's much better than cherry picking. So really appreciate you guys coming prepared every single time. Let's now move on to some high knees. High knees into chest, high knees into chest. Or if it works better for us, we could do some high elbows like this. And while we're doing high knees or high elbows, let's hear from Supergirl Samira. Go ahead, say your name, where you're from, and what do you like about the Pro Track?
Hi, my name is Samira. I'm from Brockton, Massachusetts. And what I like about the Pro Tracks is, especially getting them in advance, is it helps me prepare mentally for the exercise I'm going to be doing. And especially the Pro Tracks that are in groups, I get very excited when I see team workout. So, and also the orange WOD. I love the orange WOD because I can test myself and see how strong I've gotten and how strong I will get.
I really love the way you put that. We're not here just to be in the same place. We want to keep going up, and the orange WOD is the way to get there. And it's just always so amazing to see you guys hit this orange WOD and even surprise yourself with your strength. Let's now move on to some calf raises. Up on the toe, back on the heel, up on the toe, back on the heel. Or if it works better for us, we could do some wrist extension like this. And while we're doing this, let's hear from Ramen. Go ahead, Ramen, say your name, where you're from, and what do you like about the Pro Track?
Hello, my name is Laura. I'm from South Florida, and what I love about the Pro Track are the orange WODs, which is basically like the additional workouts, because like Samira was saying, I love seeing myself getting stronger, like having to put more weight on a barbell. I'm always like, yeah, I need more wheels. And then like, you know, trying new movements and stuff and seeing yourself become what you never thought you could, like doing handstands and stuff. I never thought I could do that. And then I did. And I was like, oh, that means I can do more. So it's just nice to see progress.
And it's definitely nice to see it from my side as well, seeing you guys push past the limits that you thought you had, but just shattering them and keeping on progressing. Let's go ahead now and move on to some jumping jacks. Or if it works better for us, we can do some stepping jacks like this if we're trying to manage our impact. And so once again, this Pro Track is a very good way to get some more fitness in and help us to reach additional health and fitness goals. You know, the orange WOD helps us to get stronger and work on our form. And there's many other awesome things included in the Pro Track. You can see more details in the Patreon link that's in the description of this video. And it's also one of the ways to support this to keep it going. But just know the best way always is going to be follow the program. Get fit, share your results with others, invite others to do it with you. That's always going to be the best way to support this. Let's go ahead and take a break from this general warm-up, guys, and let's now move on to the activation phase, which is where we're going to do a couple different movements here for 30 seconds at a time. That's going to help us to get specifically ready for today's workout. So right now, please watch as we demonstrate these movements, but after we've demonstrated them, we're going to put a timer on and then do it all together as a group. So for the first 30 seconds, we are going to do a core warm-up here. We're going to do some lying leg raises. And let's have the twins demonstrate the lying leg raises for us. So we're going to lay on our back, we're going to point those toes, and we're going to raise those legs to about 90 degrees and then back down. And then for an extra core burn there, we bring those heels to about 1 inch of the ground, and then we bring it back up. But if needed, we can just kind of rest our heels on the ground for a split second if we're not going to hit Kirby, of course, but then all the way back up. And that's what we're going to do in the first 30 seconds. But then when we go back around in the second round, we're going to do some straight leg sit-ups. So those legs are on the ground, and then we are going to sit all the way up. We're not doing the weighted sit-ups just yet. We'll throw a Kirby on there later. But we're going to either swing those arms for momentum, or we can fold those arms across the chest for an added challenge. But that's what we're going to do in the first 30 seconds of the second round. And then in the second 30 seconds, we're going to do the pigeon. And let's have Ramen demonstrate for us. So we're going to be laying face down, and we lay one leg across the chest, other leg back, and we sink into that pose. And let's remember which leg that we're using in the first round, because when we go back around, we're going to use the other leg in the second round. And then after the pigeon, we're going to do some air squats. And let's go back to the twins to demonstrate the air squats from 2 different angles. So the feet are going to be shoulder width apart. And then we're going to get those hips back and down, knees out to the side, and then push through the heels on the way back up. And notice how they have their arms up to keep a nice vertical torso. Now, it could be that getting those hips below the knees is a bit of a challenge, in which case that's fine. We can do some assisted squats. We can sit and stand to a chair with our arms up. And then with time, as our flexibility and strength improve, we can use a lower target, such as a footstool or even a medicine ball, until eventually we can squat our hips below knees without any assistance. And then for the last 30 seconds, we're going to do some good mornings. And let's have Supergirl Samira demonstrate some good mornings for us. So feet are going to be underneath the hips, and we fold those arms across the chest. And then we are going to lower that chest to about parallel with the ground, and then back up, keeping the legs mostly straight the whole time. And that's going to be the good mornings. Now, if we're doing this from the seated position today, then for the first 30 seconds, we are warming up the core. And that's going to be reach forward, reach up. And that's going to be what we do for the first 30 seconds of each round. Then we're going to move on to the seated variation of the pigeon, which is going to be one arm across the chest. And then we are going to gently pull back with the other arm like this. And then let's remember which arm we use in the first round, because we'll use the other one in the second round. Then for the air squats, we're actually going to do seated overhead press like this, all the way up, all the way down. And this is going to be the air squats from the seated position. And then good mornings is going to be fold those arms across the chest, and we're going all the way forward, all the way back up as low as we can go, then back up like this. And that's going to be the good mornings from the seated position. So I'm going to highlight the twins here to get us started, just in case we forgot what any of these moves look like. But we are starting with the lying leg raises for 30 seconds. And I'll remind you what's coming up next as it comes. But here we go, guys. Lying leg raises, starting off this activation phase in 3, 2, 1, go. Let's do this all the way up, all the way down. And I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate all of you doing the full activation phase here, which is part of the full warm-up that helps us to perform our best and to avoid injury. And after a couple more seconds here, we're going to move on to pigeon in 3, 2, 1, pigeon. Let's go ahead, lay one leg across the chest, other leg back, and we are sinking into this. And let's remember which leg that we're using in the first round here, because we're going to use the other one when we go back around in the second round. And after a couple more seconds here, we're going to move on to the air squats. So let's get ready for air squats in 3, 2, 1, air squats. Hips back and down, knees out to the side. We're getting as low as we can, then go another inch, pushing those knees out to the side, keeping the weight where it's supposed to be, off the toes. But we are getting super low and standing back up. But awesome work on these air squats, guys. And then we're going to do these good mornings in 3, 2, 1. Good mornings. Let's do this. Feet underneath the hips. And then we are leaning forward until that chest gets about parallel with the ground, and then back up, keeping those hips, those feet underneath the hips. But good work, guys. And we're going to go back around to the second round of this activation phase in just a couple seconds here. And we're going to do the straight leg sit-ups in 3, 2, 1, straight leg sit-ups, starting round 2 of the activation phase. So now we're warming up the upper core, folding those arms across the chest, or using the arms for momentum, whatever is needed here. And what I will say is this, is if you're considering doing weighted sit-ups, let's use this arms folded across the chest as a test here. If we're able to do this, then we can possibly do weighted sit-ups. 3, 2, 1, pigeon. Let's go ahead and do the other leg now on this pigeon pose. So other leg across the chest. And then we are sinking into this, and this pigeon pose is super important to activate the glutes, open up those hip flexors. This is one of the most important activation pieces here to improve our air squat, especially. Speaking of air squats, coming up in 3, 2, 1, let's do this. Air squats, hips back and down, knees out to the side. We're going as low as we can, then we go another inch. Slower down, faster up. Let's control the descent here, but getting those hips nice and back and then all the way down. And like we talked about, we can use assistance if needed. We can sit and stand to a chair or a footstool, but we want to get as low as we can. And then moving on to good mornings, 3, 2, 1, last round of good mornings. Here we go. Folding those arms across the chest, getting low, standing back up, getting that chest about parallel with the ground. Couple more seconds here, rounding out the activation phase. And 3, 2, 1, time. Okay. So let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room, GHD sit-ups, right? The GHD is a really powerful piece of apparatus that helps us to build core strength and also posterior chain, developing the glutes and the hamstrings. And it's a wonderful thing to have. Very few people have it, even at professional CrossFit facilities. So what can we do instead? Well, many of us have the bench, right? So for instance, we've got Samira, who's got the bench, and she set it to the decline position. And so what she's going to do is go ahead and get her feet in those stirrups there, and she's going to lean all the way back and then all the way up. And these decline sit-ups is a pretty good way to do this at home and recreate the fuller extension you have that you would get from the GHD. And we're going to have the twins also demonstrate a couple decline sit-ups here using the bench. They have a slightly different bench, but once again, similar setup here, getting those feet in the stirrups, leaning all the way back. And notice both Samira and Twin 2 are doing that arms folded across the chest version of this. And so you definitely should be able to do those straight leg sit-ups from the ground with the arms folded across the chest if you're thinking about doing decline sit-ups. So if that was a challenge, if we needed to swing those arms for momentum, then let's not even try the decline sit-ups, even if we have a bench. Now, another option here, if we don't have the bench, is we can do weighted sit-ups. Let's have Raman demonstrate here. So Raman is going to grab a light dumbbell, super light, and she was able to do those straight leg sit-ups with the arms folded across the chest, and that's going to be the same thing here. She's keeping it tucked in close to the chest. Notice the whole point of the weighted sit-up is to add challenge to this movement, not to make it easier. So just to demonstrate, let me have Raman go ahead and show us what we're not doing. Go ahead and grab that dumbbell and punching it forward. Yeah, you see that? That's not what we're doing here. That's not the point of the weighted sit-up. We're here to add challenge to it. Let's see a couple more good ones. So keeping that dumbbell close to the chest. And if that's a bit of a challenge, then just doing the regular straight leg sit-up that we were doing in the activation phase, that's going to be another option here. Whether we have to fold those arms across the chest or use the arms for momentum, we're still getting that core work in. Now let's get ready for the barbell movements by grabbing a broomstick or a mop or something else super light. It's always important to warm up light before we go heavy, especially with the move that we're doing today. And it's also fun because you can have an impromptu lightsaber battle. Just like, hey, go ahead. I saw you. Go ahead. Finish that out. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is actually warm up the shoulders, and we're already on, you guys. So let's do some pass-throughs here. And we're going to get a nice wide grip on the broomstick, and we're going to go up and over, touch the lower back, and then touch the belly button in the front. And this is going to be some pass-throughs to open up those shoulders. So next, we are going to do some around the worlds. So with the around the world, we are going to, it's like a pass-through, except we go up and over and around, but we still touch that lower back in the back. We're going to do about 5 in one direction, and then let's now switch directions and go the other way. And so we definitely want to have that full range of motion, though. It's very common to just kind of roll it over your shoulders there, but we really want to open up those shoulders. So feel that broomstick touching in the lower back. So next we're going to do archer pose here, and we are going to put that down the back, and we're going to hold this for about 30 seconds on this side, taking deep breaths, inching those hands closer and closer together here. Taking nice deep breaths. And, everyone has different flexibility, mobility. Twins here are hashtag flexibility goals, right? My hands don't get nearly as close as theirs, but you know what? With time, we get closer and closer. And let's now go ahead and switch sides here. So other hand on top, other hand on the bottom. And then we are inching it closer and closer together, breathing, breathing, breathing. Now notice, one side is usually tighter than the other, and it's usually the second side. Just subconsciously, we do our quote unquote good side first, and then the tight side second. That's totally fine. With time, we're going to balance this out, but let's breathe, breathe, breathe. And this really opens up the shoulders really well. So now we're going to do some overhead squats. Let's go ahead and hold that broomstick overhead. And once again, very important that this is light, that this is a broomstick here that we're using. And what I want us to do first is hold the bottom of an overhead squat. So we're going to get those hips back and down, knees out to the side. And there's a couple key things that we need to see here. Notice that the twins, for instance, their arms are locked out. Their hips are low. Their hips are below their knees. And you can see, especially with twin one, it's over her ponytail there. It's in what's called the frontal plane. So her arms aren't forward. They're not too far back. They're exactly where they need to be, right in the back part of her head. And let's go ahead and stand up. And let's do a couple more overhead squats here, getting as low as we can, holding that overhead with the arms straight and pulling back on that broomstick. We're going to do about 10 overhead squats here, slow on the way down, pushing through the heels on the way back up, warming up this overhead squat movement. So let's have a quick chat here about the overhead squat. So 3 things need to be true if we're thinking about adding weight. No matter how long we've been doing these workouts, we need to see the hips below the knees. We need to see those arms straight. We need to see that broomstick behind you in the back part of your head. All 3 of those things need to be true if we're thinking about adding weight to the overhead squat. If even one of those things is not true, it is not safe to add any weight to the overhead squat. Let's just use the broomstick. We'll still have a great workout, but very important that all 3 of those things are true if we're going to add weight to the overhead squat. But now let's go ahead and practice for the power snatch and the overhead squat. And the way we grip the bar, also super important. Who wants to show us that hook grip? We've got Ramen showing us the hook grip. So we're holding it nice and wide, thumb first, fingers over, hook grip. Gotta have it, even on a broomstick. And let's have the twins now demonstrate a snatch progression here. We're going to start with a snatch grip deadlift. So the feet are going to be close underneath the hips, and we're going to lower that broomstick to right above the shoe, but we're looking straight ahead, pulling it into the shin. And then we're going to take a nice deep breath at the bottom and then breathe out at the top as we stand up with it. Right now, we're not doing anything with the arms, but we're doing about 10 of these snatch grip deadlifts, looking straight ahead the whole time, shoulders back to keep the back nice and straight. And it starts right above the shoe. And then we're taking a deep breath at the bottom, breathing out at the top. Next, we're going to do some snatch high pulls. So it starts at the same place as the snatch deadlift, except we add a little bit of speed past the knees, and then we are going to get those elbows nice and high at the top, at the upper part of our chest, and the elbows stay above the broomstick. Basically, what we're doing here is we're elbowing 2 dudes behind us at the same time. That's where we want our elbows to be, at the top of this movement, but it's glutes first. We squeeze those glutes, and then we get the elbows nice and high. So the power snatch is going to be at the top of that high pull motion there. That's where we are going to flip and punch that broomstick overhead and then get that head through. And then we stand and lock out at the top to finish the movement. Basically, to simplify this, we are going to jump, land, and stand. And notice the footwork. The feet start close together. We jump, zip, and punch, and then we land with the hips back and then stand up. So the power snatch is from the ground to overhead in one motion, keeping it close to the body. And that's why we do that high pull, because that trains us keeping it very close to the body. And the footwork there, they start close together. As we land, we receive that bar in the squat position and then bring those feet together to finish at the top. And that is the power snatch. If we are doing this from the seated position today, then the sit-ups are going to be what we use in the activation phase, that reach forward, reach up. If we want to add a bit of a challenge, we can add some weight to this too. We can hug a dumbbell or whatever the case, but then reach forward, reach up like this. And that's going to be the GHD sit-ups from the seated position. The power snatch is going to be a nice wide grip, straight overhead, back down. And this is going to be the power snatch from the seated position. And then the overhead squat is going to be from behind the head, and then we press out overhead like this. And this is going to be the overhead squat from the seated position, a behind the neck press. But now it's ramp up time. If you've been doing this program for over a month and you want to start practicing the power snatch and the overhead squat with some more weight, and if all three of those things were true in that overhead squat screen, we were able to get our hips below the knees with the arms straight, keeping that thing behind us like we're supposed to, then we can start practicing with a little bit of weight at a time, doing about 4 practice reps at a time of the power snatch and the overhead squat. But if this is our first month in the program, or we didn't pass the 3 parts of the overhead squat screen, please, let's not add any weight to this movement. We're still going to have a really good workout with a broomstick, working on our form. Very important for us to have the right form and consistency, hitting these workouts regularly before we add intensity, such as by adding weight or going fast. And whether we're adding weight or not, let's pay close attention to the following checklist. Number 1, please make sure your device is fully charged or plugged in so that we can get through the whole workout without losing you. Number 2, let's grab some water or some super water. Let's take a sip. And let's make sure we have our water nearby so we could take a sip as needed all throughout the workout. Number 3, I'm going to give everyone a 3, 2, 1, go countdown. And that's how you can synchronize your timer with mine. Number 4, what's the music you want to hear right now that's going to get your blood pumping? We all have different tastes, whether it's classical music, polka, whatever gets our blood pumping. Let's get that playlist queued up. You can blast your music as loud as you want, as long as you can still hear me helping you throughout the workout. And then lastly, how are we going to keep track of our rounds? As you guys know, it's important to have some type of scorecard or system. This is a 4-round workout, so maybe we have 4 objects. Every time we finish a round, we put one to the side. That helps us to keep track. It's also important to have the workout written down close by so that we don't get lost. As you guys know, we release these workouts ahead of time so you can come prepared. So if you're a teacher's pet, just like the Incredibles over here that have their, the clipboard, the trusty clipboard and the printouts, always love how you guys are so prepared. And we've got Supergirl Samira as well with the good handwriting and the whiteboard art. I love this trend. And we've got the twins as well with the trusty whiteboard, multiple colors. Ramen with the super good handwriting as always. Let's take a teacher's pet picture here just to show how prepared you are. So here we go, guys. Teacher's pet picture in 3, 2, 1. Awesome. I'm going to bring the workout back on screen one more time here, and then we will get started. So in just about a minute, we are going to start this timer, and we're going to do 4 rounds, 12 GHD sit-ups, or we can do decline sit-ups or weighted sit-ups if we were able to do those, regular sit-ups with the arms folded across the chest. If we can't do that, then let's just do those sit-ups however we need to do with the swinging of the arms or whatever the case. We're just doing some sit-ups, possibly adding a challenge if appropriate. Then we're going to do 8 power snatches and then 4 overhead squats. Your score is going to be the time it takes you to get through these 4 rounds of 12 GHD sit-ups, 8 power snatches, and 4 overhead squats. So if you are good to go, go ahead and give me a thumbs up over here, and we're going to get this started. And I'm going to highlight the twins to get us started here. So here we go. And notice, the twins are going to make good use of their space. They've got 1 bench, but they've got 2 of them. So it's totally okay to stagger the start. One of them, maybe starting on the barbell, the other one starting on the sit-ups. Whatever you need to do if you are sharing the space here, totally okay. So here we go, guys, starting in 3, 2, 1, go. And we are off with these GHD sit-ups and twin one, starting on the barbell with the 8 power snatches, keeping it close to the body, and very good hip extension, jump, land, and stand, and good footwork there. Good work there, twin one. And we've got a whole lot of different options here on these sit-ups. And so we've got Incredibles making use of the bench. We've got some weighted sit-ups going on here. Ramen using some weighted sit-ups. And Supergirl Samira as well, using the bench. And we've got twin one just about onto these overhead squats. So awesome. And notice how she's going straight from that last rep of the power snatch into the overhead squats. So even if you're going to take a break, guys, after some power snatches, I would recommend you take a break after your 7th snatch, and then you do that 8th snatch and then go straight into the overhead squats, because then you already got it in place. Twin two on these power snatches, keeping it close to the body. Nice jump, land, and stand going on there. Good job, Ramen, keeping it close to the body. Nice deep breath at the bottom. Good hip extension, jump, land, and stand. Awesome, good work, guys. Supergirl Samira hitting some snatches with the empty barbell. And I like how everyone's making good, wise selection of weight here. We definitely want to use appropriate weights or apparatus, especially because we've got the overhead squat involved here. And so much rather see full range of motion than going heavier. And look at Ramen's overhead squat here, keeping the chest nice and high, hips back and down, knees out to the side. Awesome work there. Twin two as well, getting super low. Nice deep breath, stay tight. The breathing, super important in these workouts, especially on the overhead squat here. Very important for us to keep that midline nice and tight through the movement. And so we're keeping it close to the body on these power snatches. Moving on to round 2 of these sit-ups and power snatches and overhead squats. So good work here, guys. Let's go. And notice once again, Evie hugging that plate there. If we're using weight on the weighted sit-ups, we want to make sure that we're using it the right way. And so if we find ourselves punching the weight out, then maybe we just go to a traditional sit-up, and that's totally fine. But we've got Evie onto some power snatches here. Good job, good footwork, Evie, keeping it close to the body. Nice hip extension going straight overhead. Awesome, good work there. Twin one hitting another round of overhead squats, getting super low. Nice deep breath at the top, stay tight. Good range of motion. Twin two joining twin one there on the barbell. Nice work. Ramen onto some power snatches as well. Good job, Ramen, keeping it close to the body. Jump, land, and stand. Nice. Let's go. And we've got Supergirl Samira, hips back and down, knees out to the side. Good job on these overhead squats. We've got Incredibles as well. Good job on these overhead squats. Evie getting low, making good, really good weight selection on that overhead squat. Awesome work. And let's do this. On to round 3, Evie. Mr. Incredible about to hit some overhead squats. Once again, good selection there. And let's keep pulling back. Let's keep pulling back. Ramen on some overhead squats. Nice. Good job there, Ramen. Getting super low. And then we've got twin two on these overhead squats. Nice deep breath. Let's stay tight. Looking straight ahead. Awesome. Good work, guys. Most of us on to round 3 here. Making good time on this. Most importantly, moving with good form. That is what we're here for. Quality over quantity. But good job there, Supergirl Samira, rounding out that round of sit-ups here. Moving on to some power snatches. Keeping it close to the body, feet underneath the hips. Boom, there she goes. Nice jump, land, and stand. Getting under it. Nice. Good work there. Twin one. Just about to head into some overhead squats. Finish off that last power snatch. Straight into the overhead squats. Once again, no need to do extra work, right? So good work. Staying nice and focused. Good thing it's only 4%, so it's like I'm just doing these unbroken. There we go. Nice, good work, twin one. Twin two about to hit these power snatches. Ramen stepping up to the bar. Here we go. Nice, good job, Ramen. And I love how everyone's really focused on their breathing as well. Nice deep breath at the bottom, staying nice and tight through the movement. That's what we want to do here. Keep that midline stability. The breathing and the bracing, super important. That's how Coach Chris got your back here. Because that breathing and bracing, that's how we put on our natural weight belt, guys. Let's do this. Breathing, getting through this movement here. Awesome work. Twin two on the power snatches, twin one on the GHDs. Ramen as well. Taking a quick break on the power snatch, going straight from the power snatch into now some overhead squats, it looks like. So here we go. Nice deep breath, getting low. Awesome work there, Ramen. And let's do this. Supergirl Samira making her way through this round here. Everyone moving at such a good pace here. Let's do this, guys. Come on. And we've got twin two. Making a slight change there on the overhead squat. Whatever you feel like you need to do, guys, in order to keep moving with good form, that's priority number one. Twin one. Rounding out this round here, power snatches and incredibles. Moving really well, keeping that close to the body. Good work, Miss Incredible. Good hip extension, getting those hips back, standing it up. Awesome. Nothing to it but to do it. Let's go. Ramen rounding out some weighted sit-ups here, keeping it close to the body. Nice work there, Ramen. Supergirl Samira hitting these power snatches. Let's go. Almost there. Awesome work. Twin one. Just finished off that round of overhead squats. She is on to the last round of sit-ups here. Twin two on that bar. Both of them finishing off the last section. Remembering that twin one started on the bar, so she's finishing with the sit-ups and vice versa. Twin two. This last bar here. Oh, we've got a done from the Incredibles. Let's see a quick victory dance. Miss Incredible. Nice. Good work there. Mr. Incredible about to join you in a second on these overhead squats. Pulling back, looking straight ahead. Let's go.
Done.
And Supergirl Samira hitting that buzzer. Good job there, Mr. Incredible as well. Woo! Quick victory dance, Mr. Incredible on that disco. Supergirl Samira, let's see that victory dance. Nice. And Ramen just about to hit the buzzer. Let's see a victory dance, Ramen. Oh man, I love how you guys have the energy for this. And twin two, last couple overhead squats. Let's see. And done. Victory dance from the twins. Let's see it. What you guys got in store for us today? There they go, always with the choreography. They spend hours and hours just planning this victory dance every time. Well, I'll tell you what. Now we deserve a sweaty selfie, don't we? Because does it even count if we don't take this selfie? Let's flex on this camera here and let's take this sweaty selfie. Here we go. Sweaty selfie in 3, 2, 1. And crazy face. And let's go ahead and put the fists in the middle for the cheer. On 3, 2 claps, and 2 6 crew. So here we go. 1, 2, 3.
6 crew.
Crew. Awesome work, guys. Well, I'll tell you what, we're not done yet. We have the cool down stretch, but before that, we have the orange WOD, which, like we talked about, that's included in the Pro Track. In the orange WOD, we do this additional workout that helps us to build strength and work on our form. And in the Pro Track, we also get additional workouts throughout the week that help us to get more health and fitness in and reach our goals. So if you want to know more about the Pro Track, to get involved with that, please message me directly, and then we'll talk about some details about how to get involved. If we're not signed up for Pro Track, let's not try this orange WOD today. These pros have specific instructions that help them make sure that they're properly warmed up and they're doing it well. But we do want to stick around for the cool down stretch, which is an important part of the program. So what we can do in the meanwhile is maybe start to clean up our area, and then maybe hit a flexi time stretch or two that we remember as we enjoy the show that these pros are putting on. And today they are working on a heavy power snatch in today's orange WOD. So we've got Samira getting some weight on the bar there, getting ready for her attempt. We've got the twins getting into their orange WOD area. And we've got Ramen as well, getting ready for her attempt, getting some weight on the bar. Miss Incredible already ready for her attempt, and there she goes, keeping it close to the body. So good hip extension, way to get under it. I would say let's just get that head through a little bit faster on your next attempt. And then Ramen, oh snap, that bar's already up. Awesome, everyone's firing off some attempts here. Very good. We got Samira doing a couple warm-up reps. Nice work there. And today's orange WOD, we are working on a heavy single power snatch. So we're going to add some weight, and we are finding the heaviest one that we can do with good form, which is always most important. Form over everything. But we've got Ramen doing some barbell NASCAR here. We've got the twins setting up their attempts. So always exciting to see what everyone's going to attempt. And we've got the twins ready for their first attempt over here. Twin 1 taking a nice deep breath, walking up to the bar, dropping those hips, looking straight ahead. And here we go. Jump, land, and stand. Awesome. Easy day. That's a warm-up power snatch right there. Mr. Incredible about to go for a snatch. Boom, and there we go. So just one slight detail, Mr. Incredible. The power snatch today is from the ground, so you don't necessarily have to do that from the hang there, just straight from the ground. Maybe the first pull is slow, but then fast past the knees. And so starting with the feet flat on the ground there, of course. But there we go, much better. Awesome. And we've got Supergirl Samira getting some more weight on the bar. And then Miss Incredible just got that one up. Good job there. But let's see. And we've got Twin 1 stepping up to the bar. Nice deep breath. Easy day. Good hip extension. Way to get the head through as well. Supergirl Samira. So that was pretty good, Samira. What I would say is let's try that same weight. Let's go ahead and take a break here. What you did was something called a muscle snatch. And so we want a more jump, all right? And then less muscling it out with the arms there. Twin 2, thinking that barbell is funny. She's like, well, barbell's got jokes. Here you go, Twin 2. This is warm-up weight for you. Let's do it. Nice deep breath. Boom, getting that head through. Way to get under it. Nice job there, Twin 2. And let's see, Supergirl Samira. Much better on that one, Samira. If you've got a couple little plates there, like 2.5s or 5s, I feel like that's probably a good jump to go from there. And then we've got Ramen with some weight on the bar. Let's see, Ramen getting hyped for this attempt here. You got this, Ramen. Easy day. Dropping those hips, deep breath. Okay, well, let's take a breather here. So you got it high enough. What I would say is let's get under it faster, okay? Or let's try even less weight to build your confidence, because you're capable of power snatching that weight. As long as we receive it above parallel, you can squat super low. You can squat to like an inch above parallel and it still counts as power. So you have the ability to get it up and get under it. But we've got twin one. Let's see here. Boom, good job there, twin one on that weight. And we've got Mr. Incredible going for a weight here. Let's start with the feet flat on the ground though, let's remember. There we go, much better. But yeah, feet flat on the ground. We definitely don't want to jump off the balls of the toes there. And we've got twin two. Why are you looking at me? That's what I'm here for. You got this. Easy day. Come on, deep breath. Jump and punch. Joe, just like Ramen, you got it high enough for sure. If you want to try a slightly less weight just to build your confidence, but just remember, you can drop under it. You can get even lower and then it counts. And we've got Supergirl Samira here going for this power snatch. Good job, Samira. You got way more in the tank. It's just like riding a bike. The first couple snatches were like, oh, I don't know. But yeah, now like, yeah, you can slap on some 5s or 10s. Good job there, Supergirl Samira. Twin one. Good job on that snatch there. And let's see, Ramen going for another attempt here. Deep breath, drop those hips. Aggressive, you got this. There you go. Got under it, stood it up, control. Nice. Okay. So for you, I would add, if you're gonna add anything, like 2.5s or something, but yeah, let's just remember to get under it like you just did and get under it even more on this next one. And let's see, nice deep breaths, guys. We got this, keeping it close to the body. Jump and land, get low. Oh man, twin two, you definitely got it high enough. Let's take a minute or two to breathe. We have actually exactly about 1.5 minutes here left in the orange WOD. So that's about enough time for you to recover. And think about getting low, twin two. Get as low as you need to. You got it high enough. And we've got Miss Incredible. So you got it overhead. Technically what you did there is what we call a clean and jerk. And Mr. Incredible got it overhead in one motion. There you go. Nice work. And let's see here. Awesome job, Ramen. Man, that looked lighter than the last one. Good job there, Ramen. It's amazing what happens when you just approach it mentally, knowing you have a game plan on that lift. So let's see here. We've got just about 1 minute left here, guys. Let's figure out what it's gonna be. What's this gonna be? We've got the twins doing some plate switching over here. We've got Samira going for the bar. Let's see, Samira. There we go. You got this, Samira. You know what to do. Good work, Samira. You had slight early arm bend there. And that's due to fear. You're like, oh, am I going to get it up? Yes, you are. You have to use those glutes. That's how you get it up. But good job on that lift. And you can be proud of that number for sure. And so let's see if anyone's going to go for one more here. There you go. Ramen got under it. Hey, pressed it out, but hey, you got it overhead. Just get lower next time and let's receive it with straight arms. That's the goal, but you got it overhead. And so good job on that. But definitely, yes, we want to get low and then be aggressive with that punch out so that we receive it with straight arms. And let's see, we got time for about one more attempt here. Twin two, oh my goodness. Yeah, you got this. Come on, get low. Hey man, if you squat snatch it, you squat snatch it. That's what happens. Don't worry about it. Just get low. Nice deep breath. Oh, you don't understand how much you definitely got that weight, Twin 2. You got it so high, but awesome attempt either way. And is Twin 1 gonna go for another one? We got time for about one more here. Let's see. Twin 1 stepping up to this bar. Nice. Showing Twin 2 how it's done. Good job there. Well, I'll tell you what, that is it for today's Orange WOD. Always super exciting to see you guys push past your comfort zone and do things that you never thought you'd be able to do right here over Zoom. But let's now hit this cool down stretch, which, like we've mentioned, is a super important part of the program. It helps us increase flexibility and fight soreness so we can come back and hit these workouts day after day the way we like. So the first stretch we're doing today is Saddle Eagle, and it helps a lot of people to have a blanket or a pillow underneath the knees and also in the knee crease there to reduce, that tension on the knee. But we're going to sit back in saddle pose like this, and then eagle is one elbow on top of the other like this. And let's now hear some high-low buffaloes. So let's start with the Incredibles. What was your guys' high-low buffalo? And if we're doing this from the seated position, let's get one elbow on top of the other like this.
My high was actually the weighted sit-ups. I didn't go very heavy, but I felt a bit of a challenge. So I really like that. My low was probably the Power Snatch. I was uneasy just jumping a little bit on it, but just keep practicing on that. And my buffalo was the Orange WOD. I did actually pretty good. I did 65. So I was very happy.
Yeah, my low were the sit-ups. I had some back pain, stuff like that. But interesting enough, the sit-ups actually loosened me up a little bit for power snatches, which was my high. So I was happy about that. And the buffalo also was the power snatches and the Orange WOD. I was able to do 80. And thank you also for coaching me, making sure I was doing it right. So it was a very good workout. I really enjoyed it.
There's a method to the madness, right? We pair certain movements together that are complementary and help us to actually do as good as we can in the Orange WOD. So good job there, Incredibles, especially, most importantly, paying attention to your form. Let's now move on to Saddle Eagle on the other elbow. So we're on this side. Let's now switch to the other elbow on top like this. And let's hear high-low buffalo from Supergirl Samira. If we're doing this from the seated position, we get the other elbow up like this.
My high was the sit-ups. It felt really good on my lower back to go all the way down and up. My low, I felt like I should have gone a little higher during the WOD with the weight. It felt a little easy, the snatches and the squats. So now I know. And my buffalo, the Orange WOD was pretty good, even though, I got distracted a couple of times with my daughter. So just, next time, lock the door.
Hey, we live and we learn, right? So better too light than too heavy. At least now for next time. And then, of course, locking that door, I agree, that's probably a good strategy as well. Let's now move on to Dragon. So one leg forward like this, and we're leaning into this long lunge position. And once again, it does help for some people to have a pillow or a blanket underneath that back knee. And let's hear a high-low buffalo from Ramen. What was your high-low buffalo? If we're doing this from the seated position, let's get one elbow up and pull to the side like this.
My high was probably just the WOD in itself. I think I picked a pretty good weight where I was able to move through the movements pretty decently at a good rate. So I was happy with that. My low was knowing how to get lower for my power snatch, especially for like the 1 rep max. I was like, okay, I gotta mentally it's like, you gotta, think like, okay, get lower and then, push up. So it helps me to learn for the next time. And the buffalo was getting that information so that way I know what I need to work on to have a better form the next time. So thanks.
Yeah, we get a lot of coaching cues that we think about before we go for the lifts. And after a while, we just kind of move automatic, right? But you're absolutely right. After we get that full hip extension, then the idea is once we get that full hip extension, we're actually just pulling ourselves under at that point. We're not really even trying to pull that bar up. And it seems counterintuitive at first, but once we finally feel that pull under motion, then it makes sense. And you're definitely getting much closer to it. So good job, Ramen. And let's now do dragon on the other side. So we're getting the other leg forward, leaning into that nice long lunge position. And let's hear high-low buffalo from the twins. What was your guys' high-low buffalo? And of course, seated position, we're now pulling the other arm the opposite way like this.
My high was I think it was the Power Snatch during the WOD. It was getting pretty fun. I probably should have went up on weight, seeing as I was having too much fun. The low was I let my mental doubt get to me for the orange one. I feel like I could have done heavier, but I started overthinking it. So I scared myself. And then the buffalo was just the WOD. It was really fun today. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think my high today were the sit-ups, GHD sit-ups through the bench. Low, same, the orange WOD. It's like, I know I could get it, like I could have done it, but the mind games, they got to me. So I definitely want to work on that weight. So that's like a goal now for that week. And then buffalo, yeah, it was just a great record overall, like my mom said. So, yeah.
Listen, you're you're definitely not alone. The snatch plays a lot of mind games with all of us. And, it's a love-hate relationship with the snatch, but once we become one with the snatch, it's a beautiful thing. Just getting that hip extension and the pull under, especially, it's just poetry in motion. And you guys are definitely getting much better at it. So good job. Well, that's our WOD today. That's our stretch. That's our high-low buffalo. Give yourselves a round of applause and a pat on the back for getting through this. And as always, if you enjoyed this workout, please give this channel a subscribe, a like, and a share. And let's always remember to care as we share. We could post a link on our social media, but how much better is it to just follow up with one person who could use this in their life? Let's follow up with them on a personal level. Let's share the link with them directly. It helps them feel important and it makes sure the program gets in the right hands. So thank you guys so much and see you next time.